Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Alliance, your home on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Podcast Network for eating in all things Star Wars. I'm your host, as always, Katie, and I had an angry baby tonight, which is why we are late. Clay is with me as per the usual. He's a little bit fuzzy, but he's got some storms in his area, so that's the explanation. If it gets bad, he's going to drop picture. So, say hello, Clay.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the YouTube right now, and
It's fine. I'm telling you, it's like when Obi-Wan's calling in and he's in the rain. That's all it is. You're just in a storm right now. That's okay.
Now I just need to find that backdrop, dude. I need to find like a green screen backdrop.
Put that backdrop behind you, and it'll look perfect.
Of Genosha, right?
Exactly.
Geonosis. Sorry.
No, not Geonosis.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's the clone place.
No.
Camino.
Yeah.
Is it Camino? Yeah, it is Camino. That's right.
Because it doesn't rain on Geonosis.
That's right. There's two hollows that he.
Yeah, I don't want you to get attacked by the Geonosins. I'd rather you get attacked by Jango.
Just like disappear out of the freaking camera frame. No, but my day would have been a whole lot better if I could have grabbed Into the Light today. But my bookstore accidentally forgot to pick up. They picked up everybody's pre-order for every other book that came out in the last 2 weeks, but they didn't pick up mine. So it'll be there tomorrow. But I have bought this book 3 times. I ordered it off bookshop.com. And I didn't cancel it in time, so it already shipped. So I'm waiting for that to get here. But then I was like, hey, I can get it physically at the store. So I went to my local bookshop, which is literally right down the road. They forgot my pre-order, but I need to read the book in order for us to prepare for our recording. So I had to purchase it digitally on the Apple Books app. So Disney's got my money. Dude, Disney's got my money apparently.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it was kind of a shadow drop, but I don't know if you guys have Apple TV or not, but Mythic Quest, are you guys familiar with
Yes, I've seen that. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
No worries. They came out with they shadow dropped like a spin-off called Side Quest, where they go through like different side stories of different things of the video game. So like if you're playing WoW, it's like the art director of WoW, like what he's doing on vacation while he's getting whatever. But there's the second episode, Pool List. I think is one of my favorite episodes that I've like seen of encapsulation of fandom. And like the whole premise is like they're trying to figure out who deserves to get the one copy of the comic from the series, because everybody's pre-orders got screwed up, so it becomes like a whole like measuring contest of like nerddom and stuff like that, and it's all just like over like one book. But at the end of the day, we can just like read, we just all read it. We just all read it. So it's just so funny you say that, but I'm glad that you were able to get it, so that but it's still like that, man. It's just real life. Can't help it.
And for those of you who are, of course, here joining us on live, as well as all of the listeners that are going to be listening to this tomorrow when the episode drops, that extra copy of Into the Light, we will be giving that away. So I will say, if you could very much please use our hotline and or the email link below. You can send us a review of the show or give your thoughts on what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is, of course, a brand new announcement of Tales of the Underworld. So I'll be completely honest. I was so busy at work today. I was not looking at social media whatsoever. And all of a
That's
sudden,
why I texted you.
Katie just texted me and she's like, is she with so-and-so? And I'm like, who is she? And what are you talking about? And then I actually looked at what she posted. And I was like, holy crap, I was not expecting this. So we got, of course, your traditional May 4th announcement. There's always something on May 4th dropping on Disney Plus for Star Wars in recent years. So we get that. We're going to talk about it. Of course, this week we are doing our Star Wars Celebration predictions. Of course, Adrian here is actually going to be there. So,
oh my gosh, we didn't even introduce you, Adrian. I'm so
sorry. No worries. I just introduced myself. I'd like took my shoes off. Like, yeah, I just took my shoes off at the door and just kind of came in. We're not there yet. No worries.
We're still technically in the intro. And then, of course, as you can see in the title, we will be talking about Haunted Starlight. And I'm just now noticing on YouTube, I spelled Starlight with 2 H's. Damn it. Either way. Hey, Adrian, what's up?
Hi.
Adrian's here. Oh, man.
Just making myself at home,
Yeah, man, of course. Always. We love when you are able to join us, and we're sad when you're unable to. But super glad you're able to join us on this show because, like I said, you're actually going to be there at Celebration. So
super excited. Not super happy with the way they did their panel thing this year. That's my own little gripe. I think.
Yeah.
Just how do you expect people to be able to be with each other when you do? If you know, I don't want to be mad about it, but super excited for everything else. My wife's doing a cosplay from Star Wars Visions that she's almost finished. It's like a big, beautiful wedding dress from the Village Bride episode. So
awesome.
And then we're just gonna go live in Japan and get a whole bunch of Star Wars news. I'm hoping that we get to see some stuff early, like we have the last couple of times. So as soon as I know, I'm leaking to you guys specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not under any embargo. I'm not going there for press.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it, We can count on Adrian for the videos.
Put in your exclusive orders, please. I need that cherry blossom stormtrooper so bad. It looks so cool.
All the artwork is legendary.
Yeah, and then of course I will say this, speaking of leaks, just a reminder, everybody, Katie and I do plan on reviewing on our own personal time Acolyte Wayseeker, and we'll be dropping that episode not this next week but the following week, due to the fact that there will most likely be copies of that book floating around at Celebration. So the embargo is actually up a little bit earlier than actual release. So just wanted to make you guys aware of that.
Oh man, I hope it's good. She didn't watch the Acolyte, man, so I hope it's good.
Yeah, so far so good, at least.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can't wait to hear your thoughts on it.
So I have Tales of the Underworld
trailer?
You know me, I don't watch no goddamn trailers. No, in 2025 I don't watch no trailers. I saw the poster. I saw Ventress, I saw Cad Bane. I'm in.
Yeah.
Just sign me up. I don't know how you guys feel about the young Boba stuff and the whole Underworld thing with all the bounty hunters. I love it. I played a bounty hunter in Star Wars Galaxies and in SWTOR, so I'm with it. Give it to me. More bounty hunters, please. That's why I love Boba Fett. I'm down with it.
I have always been a fan of Star Wars outside of just the Force and Jedi and everything else, because it's a galaxy. It's not just these individual people of Jedi and Force users. It's what comes with it is what makes it a galaxy. And a lot of people, I feel like, I haven't gone searching for it, so I'm not entirely sure what the reaction is for this particular Tales of. Now, this isn't going to have the lightsaber problem because we have Asajj Ventress. So
We
the
also have
lightsaber,
another Inquisitor.
we do have another Inquisitor, unknown. So that's gonna be interesting. All we saw was like a little bit of a shadowy face with some eyes, tattered cloak cape thing. But then yeah, like I like the idea of kind of growing Cad Bane's backstory. It really looks like we're going to probably get a lot of his backstory. We're seeing more of his, like, what seems like his kin,
Yeah.
probably people that he grew up with. So interesting. Katie, what do you think?
Do y'all think this is setting up for Mandalorian and Grogu? Because we've heard that what's his name? Rhoda is gonna be like captured. There's gonna be more bounty hunters involved. Dave Filoni's bounty hunter that he voices in Clone Wars specifically. So, like, do y'all think this is leading up to that? Or maybe even like the Path animated show that's like rumored as like the next animated show to drop.
What do you think, Adrian?
I think they're separate. So I think most of them have been separate, right? When they do this Tales thing, I think it's very much in the anthology department.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping it stays there because, like, there's no real reason for Cad Bane to lead into Mandalorian or like there's nothing really. I can't see anything coming there that like matters for Mandalorian and Grogu like in real big way. Then what do you do with Ventress? Because like Ventress is always like the character when she shows up, we're just like, why, how, where, how, timeline, books, lore, like where's the thing? So I hope they're just their own thing and we're just learning more about their specific characters because that's how the rest of them have been. I love that it's separate from the movies. I don't even like, even from the movies, it's a whole other thing. You know, Buck going like Skywalker Jedi stuff. Being able to watch that kind of story from the comfort of my home is a good experience. That is like very, it's almost like reading a book to me. You know, it's like a visual novel.
For
when they
sure.
do these, so.
I'm really excited for this. I kind of saw it coming, like this announcement, not necessarily the Tales of the Underworld part, but like another Tales epic coming on May 4th, because that's just kind of been the trend recently. I'm very excited to see Ventress. It does make me concerned that we won't see her in the future, but it also makes me concerned about Dark Disciple as the book. Are we going to see another book butchered? That's the question.
Well, that's what I worry about. That's why, like, don't do too much, man. Just give me the answers. Just give me the answers you want. Tell me you have a cohesive story. Tell me you cared about the character, that you know people will burn this place to the ground if you do her dirty. So you have to do her right.
Yeah, and that book is so well loved, even more so than the Ahsoka book. So you can't just say like, oh yeah, we're just gonna ignore this book. Like, you wrote those scripts for Asajj, you never got a chance to do them, so you turned them into a book. End of discussion. That story should still matter to you at the end of the day. I am hoping. The person that I asked Clay about is in the trailer. You actually see basically Asajj has picked up what looks like a wayward apprentice. We are going to see the mommy side of Star Wars versus the daddy side of Star Wars. And I asked Clay, is that Corrin from Kenobi that she is working with?
I had no idea who you were talking about at the time. And I was like, Corrin Horn? What the hell? What's going on? Now, going back, Corrin, and correct me if I'm wrong, we see Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series meet up with him like really late at night
It's not Obi-Wan, it's the like safety person. He's the guy that's working with the path. So Obi-Wan watches what I can't remember his name. It's the fake Jedi who's doing like the mechanical tricks.
Oh,
And he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
trying to impress on the people like, hey,
yeah. Majat,
I can save
Oh,
you.
that's right. And it was the kid that
Yeah, it
was
was the kid and his
sitting.
mom.
That's right.
So
Okay.
is
Yeah.
that boy the same one that Asajj is working with in this? Do you guys have theories?
I guess the timeline would actually fit.
It depends, right? It
Yeah.
depends. Because Obi-Wan takes place around like 10 BBY, I think is what we have decided it is. And Bad Batch, you see Asajj with the lightsaber, that's 19 BBY. So if this is like 5 BBY, then yes, completely realistic. But where is it? So,
And I also I want to make a small comment about like the whole realm of like what y'all were talking about, like when you were saying these things kind of demolished the idea of these books that were out there. First, we saw with Tales of the Jedi, it was the Ahsoka book, um, and then with Bad Batch, it was the
potentially Dark Disciple.
potentially Dark Disciple. But also Tales of the Empire. Granted, this was, I believe, a Legends novel. Baris Ophi?
Barriss Offee.
Barriss, sorry.
Offee,
Barriss
yeah.
Offee. Her whole story. There was a Legends novel, correct? Was it Legends? It's not canon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the MedStar duology.
Yeah. So you bring her in, and the idea of like, oh, is this going to be connecting to any movies or TV shows? We all thought, and there still hasn't been any confirmation and or any news to support this, but with the last episodes of Tales of the Empire, there's all these rumors of like, oh, she's gonna be in like season 2 of Ahsoka. Like they're gonna meet up again, and it's gonna be this whole crazy thing. Of course, we have no indication of that happening whatsoever. So I am in both realms as far as, do I want it to connect and do I not want it to connect. I think it would be really cool to get the chance to see Asajj in live action. I think it would be really cool. But Adrian has something to say about that.
I don't want it, dude, because this fandom sucks sometimes, man.
Yeah.
I don't want whatever actress that is who plays Asajj Ventress, whatever non-binary person they cast, whatever person who absolutely murders it, and then they have to deal with all like the backlash, because there's no like Asajj Ventress is like cool because she's like that background character like these dudes don't really know about. Like, you know, I would just worry. I would just worry about seeing her in live action. Because one, it would feel forced, guess like in like the timeline in Ahsoka. I think Barriss Offee would like make a little bit more sense, but even then, I think that these stories are like really good and contained. Like, cool, like that was a story. Like, and like for Dooku too, right? Like he's dead. He's never coming back. Here's some anthology backstory on it, so you feel a little bit less. So you feel a little sad when he gets his head cut off. You know.
Yeah.
So, but just like that, like if this is the only way that I can like enjoy her, give her a spin-off show or something, or like, you know, where she's like mommy, like I'm down. But in live action, I'm worried. I'd be worried.
I get that point. I really do.
Yeah.
As far as not being in that boat of not wanting it to connect, Adrian, you just said it. The feeling of feeling forced. I think that unfortunately there would be this kind of like cloud hanging over in a movie theater if we started to start like connecting the dots, like as it's starting to happen, I'll be like, oh wait, is this gonna connect to Tales of the Underworld right now? And then like boom, it's there. It's just like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like they wanted it to feel like, oh my gosh, it's more of like a
You're like, oh no, it's like actually like heartfelt and like has something to say. And it's not just about like pew pew pew. You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that. Now if there is a chance that this is the Corrin from Obi-Wan, I think that's a fun nod. And like by the end of the show, you can see them like running off and be like, "Oh, I know where they're."
Yeah. I think that's good, right?
Yeah,
Because that connects with Asajj and her boy toy. Like that all makes sense.
Quinlan, yeah.
Yeah, I would like that because that would give us Dark Disciple answers, which would because he was there. Quinlan Voss was on the thing. We all
Mhm.
read it. We all pointed at the screen, right? So
yeah.
yeah, let's do that. I'm good with that connection, but no farther than that. No movie connection.
It's like a little Easter egg.
Yeah,
Like,
Easter
Yeah.
egg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it
Easter
to
eggs
me.
are fine.
Yeah, give it to me. You know what I want.
Yeah. I'm super happy with this. This is something that I pitched when Disney first bought Star Wars is like because you had like the Tales of the New Republic, the Tales from Jabba's Palace, like all those legends anthology novellas basically collections that I really enjoyed growing up. I think I'm an outlier, but I really enjoyed those and I thought it was a
No, they're
good
great.
way. Cool. Yay, I'm not alone.
Yeah, I mean the tales from Vader's palace, the tales from
Mhm.
Jabba's palace now, or Vader's castle rather. Like they're telling those still just in comic form, and they're fantastic. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
underrated. So
Yeah.
more,
They're really good. And I think this is a good way for Star Wars to approach stories. And now, like, for me, I was like, let's focus on like one character an episode, basically. And then you can decide who to spin off from there. But I think this still very much hits that itch that a lot of Star Wars
Mhm.
fans want that I want more of this character. I want more of that character. And like it just is able to bring it together. I'm very curious to see what comes next year from this Tales series. Um I don't know. It's very exciting. So
I have a bunch of options for there, but hopefully we can save that for like the Star Wars Celebration fan theory
yeah,
because
which
I
we
have some
can dive
notes.
into right
Yeah.
now.
Actually, let's jump into our Star Wars Celebration predictions. I'll be completely honest. When Adrian said in our group chat, "Oh, I get to join on Star Wars Celebration episode," hell yeah! I was like, Star Wars Celebration episode. I was so focused on listening to this audiobook and like of course work being completely hectic right now. I'm like, oh yeah, we have to talk about that. So I'll be
Hey,
last
they look
on every
for the listeners. They sent me a link. They were like, "Here, here's my calendar," and I was like, okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
can talk about that.
It helps me correlate things because I
Yeah,
always
for sure.
forget. And so laying it out helps.
see what
a
I
lot.
need, honestly, Katie. I need there to be some sort of widget on my phone that has our brain dump just square in my face instead of having to actually open the Google Drive to actually have that there. Like I need something to just
I'll
smack
send
me in
you
the
some notes
face.
on how to make that happen.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Or better yet, I'll make Matt look up how to do that because he's really good at that stuff.
All right. Well, where do y'all want to go in first with this? Because do we want to touch on theatrical movies? Do we want to move to video games?
Well, there's not like a
books?
movie panel.
Yeah, so what? They could.
Well, there's a
special
Mandalorian
announcement.
Grogu. I guess that's
Yeah,
true.
I mean
They
they
could-
haven't like really. I don't think they've. I mean, I haven't checked it in a couple of days, but have they announced like what the other panels are? I don't think they've announced like what like the smaller panels are just yet. So they could have shadow panels or something, blah blah blah, at something. So who knows what they
Yeah,
can do.
I've got the panel by hour link that's
Oh,
on
nice.
StarWarsCelebration.com. Here's
Nice.
the link,
Updated. I've
guys.
been waiting, dude. Been waiting for so long.
So here's how we're gonna do this. I think let's go through and let's go movies, TV shows. We'll go live action and animated because I think those are gonna be two different categories. And then we'll talk books and comics and just kind of break it down into sections by that, guys. Does that work?
Yeah, sounds good. This is also helping me plan out my celebration, so thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
All right, so Katie, why don't you give us your first one?
All right, so movies, guys. I'm thinking that there's going to be a trailer presented to Celebration. We're not gonna get that. The noobs, the losers who aren't going. But
I will say they made y'all wait a very long time for the Ahsoka trailers.
It was
they gave it to that, or like they made y'all wait for that.
Yeah,
and I saw like no leaks because they were vultures about it. So I don't know.
It's ridiculous. And to present the same trailer because we saw the leaks. Obviously,
there was very few leaks in the very beginning, and then they all started to get taken down.
Yeah,
very quickly.
And when they started releasing trailers, like a little bit, and I was like, "Dude, there's more of that trailer."
Yeah,
there's
like
more.
What? And like, I get providing exclusive stuff for the people there, but
I just want to see it
people. Yeah, I mean, you want people hyped to go back to theaters for Star Wars, and this is the big Star Wars event. So it would be nice if the general public got a trailer. I don't think it's going to happen.
Star Wars has a trailer problem anyway, so it's okay.
Yep.
So says the person who doesn't like to watch trailers.
There's three Andor trailers, bro. Like they didn't talk about Andor at all until like a month ago, and then they give us like 3 trailers already. Like,
what happened to the promotion from Acolyte?
Yeah, like what are we doing? Like they were just teasing. The trailer for the Acolyte is like the first like 10 minutes, and then she's gone. Right? Like they showed like nothing in those teasers. Yeah, so I think Star Wars has like a trailer problem. So I'm hoping that they just show us a teaser there, and like maybe it's just that, and they just show us like early. So like when we watched the episodes when I went, we saw it maybe like 2 hours early before like you guys saw it. When it released. So it wasn't like we saw it that much earlier for like the actual episodes. So I think just do it like that. If you're gonna give a trailer, just let the people like geek out about it at like 10 a.m. first, because that's like how early the panels are this year.
Well, and also you're 12 hours ahead in Japan.
Yeah, so I'm already in the future. So
most of the US is going to be asleep. I'm not staying up for the panels.
No, it'll be I mean, East Coast. Yeah, you're kind of boned East Coast. Yeah, because I'm planning to be up to do some work for students on the West Coast. And that'll be 10 a.m. 10 a.m. that time is around what's 8 or 9. So be in the evening. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have to stay up too bad. Just chug a Red Bull or something. I don't know.
I mean, so
like, you know what a baby does to your sleep schedule?
Well, the thing is the only good thing is the fact that this is gonna be on a Friday. So like, I think that wait, so when it says 10 a.m., it's saying 10 a.m. Japan time.
Correct? Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah. So the great thing about it being Friday night, I'm probably still going to be awake on Friday night. I will be starting to wind down, and what will most likely happen is I'll be in bed just like this for like.
You guys are good. 10 a.m. Like 10 a.m. is 9 p.m. the previous day East Coast, 6 p.m. the previous for the West Coast. So you're chilling. You can do that because the panel's not even that long, right? Like all of like the big announcements for the panel will be out super quick.
Yeah,
I think so.
They'll be out super quick, and then it's just like the Mandalorian and Grogu one right there, like an
Yeah.
hour. So you get to
Like-
stay up until 10.
Yeah. And like in terms of movie news, like maybe you bring like Sean Levy out for like a discussion on like the live stage. I don't see there's
Yeah,
any
I think
other thing.
that'll be where they do a bunch of like the kind of cooler announcements, I hope, since they're so everyone's loving how much like I don't know why, like the metric of like how many people saw your trailer is the big thing right now in like media and like critic media and stuff. Like, who cares how many people like watch the 2-minute trailer? Like, what?
So it's funny that you say that. I think
So I
this
feel like they're
started-
gonna do that stuff for like the live thing. Whatever things they show on like the live thing, I think that they're gonna, be like, oh, if you were watching, this many people tuned in and what yada yada yada.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because there's been like a thing going on in the GUA chat for like, I want to say like almost 4 years now. We've been talking, I think Travis Hines, I'm going to call you out there, sir. He's the first one like that kind of brought it to our attention when it actually started happening. He's like, oh, but how many watched it within the first 24 hours?
Even more. So you got to be even more exclusive to watch some.
So it's been that thing. And so we as a group in our podcast group, we've kind of been paying attention to the numbers, but it's more so it's turned into a joke to be like, oh, like, does this hit the correct metric to be viral?
Because all that tells me is that you like bought into the thing to get them more ad revenue on YouTube. Like that's all you did, right?
Yeah.
I think I figured that out a couple Super Bowls ago, and they were just like, check out the full trailer now on YouTube after like a 10-second ad. And I was like, no, I'm not skipping like real life ads to go to another ad.
Yeah,
exactly. I can't do it. Do it.
Yep.
It's definitely ridiculous.
It's out of control. But I think the announcements will be cool because that'll spark speculations on like future stuff, which I think is the more fun part. It's like the stuff that we get to do here. So as long as they're like coming out with like banger announcements, I'm worried about underwhelming announcements more than anything. I think when we're talking about predictions, I'm underwhelmed just based on what the big main stage panels are for this one.
Because it's Andor, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Grogu, and then the animation panel is like really your big ones.
Yeah, and that's like I'm hyped about all of those things. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, my wife has done a Visions cosplay for every single convention one of the ones we've been to the last couple of years. So like, I'm with it. I'm here. I'm super excited. It's probably the one I'm most excited about, even over Ahsoka, even over Andor, even over Mandalorian and Grogu. Because I think it's like the purest form of the anthology stuff. It's the playing in the sandbox that's really exciting for me. But that said, the last couple of years they had like multiple big panels on each day, or like bigger announcements on things. So I don't know if it's going to be a space issue. I don't know what the venue looks like. I've never been there, but it doesn't feel as grand. I think it's just exciting because there hasn't been one, and we haven't got anything big. So I think we're all just like itching for more announcements.
Well, speaking of, Adrian, now it's your turn. As far as movie predictions, how are we feeling? What do you think? Are you feeling anything extra on the celebration? What do you think?
I think that they're probably going to like end each one of these panels with like a big announcement for like the next movies is what I think is going to happen. And I think it's all going to be really focused on the stuff they promised last time that they've been like going back and forth with and like the far past, future, and then like that kind of stuff. So that's where I hope they go. I want more. If you're gonna give me Star Wars, if you're gonna give me Jedi and Sith, I want them to give us a whole bunch of more information on specifically the 10,000 years ago one. Like, show me why this matters so much. If you're gonna keep giving me Jedi and Sith, like, let's go back to the beginning and let's see like where this conflict started, so we can like debunk some of these long-standing theories about the chosen one and blah 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 and all these things. I want those kind of conversations. So movie predictions, I hope they give us more on that. We get title, we get all the things that are going to matter. to make us happy.
So I always reach for the impossible when it comes to these predictions, just in case it actually happens. So my question is
a John Boyega spinoff where he gets to be a Jedi all by himself.
I wish. But what I will ask you guys to kind of support my prediction, how much does Japan love Ryan Gosling? Do we know?
We talked about him potentially coming out there.
I think there's a chance that Sean and Gosling make an appearance to like.
I'd be more excited if Jeremy showed up for the animation stuff. That'd be sick. I'd be super down for that.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I could see Sean. I don't see Gosling.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think they really. I think
especially after Barbie.
Like, yeah, especially after Barbie. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, global phenomenon.
So I could see Gosling for like a panel, but I don't see him going out on like the live stage at all. Like for that conversation or like the video game stuff. That's what I mean when I talk about live stage, but like
live stage
I definitely
pretty
could
lit,
see Levy.
Yeah.
But I don't see Gosling.
I don't think so. I hope you know who I want? Who my wife wants actually. She wants Adam Driver to show up. So
I don't think Driver would show up.
I know he wouldn't. He doesn't want to do anything, but like, come on, Adam.
He's the
give the women what they want. Give the women what they want. Okay?
But that's the thing though. Like, so we've seen in recent years, and I think it's more so like people kind of let time go by and kind of just like let the smoke disperse a little bit, and people who didn't have a whole lot of love for these films, like, because we saw a little bit of animosity from freaking oh my gosh, I thought of his name and then it just disappeared. Poe Dameron,
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Like we saw him kind of give like the like nah to Star Wars films, but then later on he's like, oh yeah, you know, maybe yeah, I'll keep my door open for if they ever want to come back, blah blah blah. Like, who's to say that Adam Driver hasn't said that behind closed doors? You know, we know we've seen him say very publicly like, hey, no, never again. But you never know. Just
you never know. Impossible. Yeah,
you never know.
Shoot or shoot.
But Katie, we went from movies. So how about this? I'm going to also start us off with another prediction. And again, I love throwing out the impossible just in case it happens. Star Wars animated theatrical teaser.
Live action TV shows is where we're at. We're not on animated yet.
I thought we were just doing movies right now.
Oh,
that's a movie.
Okay, yeah. I thought we had moved to TV
no,
shows.
I said, but like I'm gonna throw another one out there, and I said, animated theatrical teaser is gonna be thrown out there. Again, just because I want it. We've had this discussion before.
Yep.
That I think it's very much possible with, of course, the idea of all of these Tales of coming out and even the help of Young Jedi Adventures. Again, animation does not need to be for kids, but still, Star Wars is for kids. I think that an animated theatrical movie would be amazing. So, I'm going to throw that.
No, you sold me, and I don't think it's as crazy as you think, because we're in 3 seasons of Young Jedi Adventures. Every kid who all my friends' kids who have kids around that age love Young Jedi Adventures who are Star Wars fans. They love it. They know all the characters. Like my niece probably knows more about Young Jedi Adventures than I do because she watches that thing like so much. Make a theatrical movie, go the Paw Patrol route or whatever, and give us a theatrical movie based on where they're at. People will have to go back and watch 3 seasons of Young Jedi Adventures, gives them more streams, whatever. But then you also get to see the High Republic in a different light. Get to see Yoda not being such a person who makes bad decisions, and you get a bunch of like diversity. You get the cute animals. Everybody loves Nugs. Or whatever the little
Nubs,
guys. Everyone loves Nubs, right? So I don't think it's that crazy. I really don't think it's that crazy. They should do it. You do it. I'm gonna pitch it.
The Paw Patrol route is a good thing to bring up because that does get them the kids in theaters, which is what Star Wars is all about.
More importantly, it gets kids and adults in theaters because know all of us are going to be there. I don't even have a kid and I'm going to be there. What you mean? I'm seeing it at my local draft house at like 10 a.m. when there's no kids in there, and it's just adults like you, like us, going to see some lore be expanded. So I don't think it's that crazy, and supersedes what I wanted. This is more fun, which is what it's all about to begin with. Yeah. So let's do it.
100%.
All right, Katie. Now television. What do you think?
Okay, so I definitely can see exclusive Andor footage. Maybe even like the first 10 minutes of the episode or something. I would 100% bet that not just the first 10 minutes. I really think
we're seeing the first 3.
Yeah, you're gonna Andor, the first 3 episodes are going to premiere at Celebration. Yeah. And then we'll get them like
you might get them a day early. Kenobi. For Kenobi, they bumped it, right? They bumped it back 2 hours because people were already talking about it. So
that's true.
They just gave it to the people. So just bitch about it online, and they'll do it.
Basically, I could see potentially some Ahsoka footage since they just started shooting, and maybe they put something together like Reeves did for
they did.
the DC Phantom.
Well, no, they did something like that for Ahsoka, like 4 weeks into shooting. She showed up on video. She's like, "Oh, hey, she came. She's like, "Oh, we're here, but we just started shooting. But here's the first here's a minute teaser, and that's all we needed. And then we didn't get anything until the next Celebration. Yeah. So they can definitely they can pump it out if they want to. They love a trailer, right? So if they want to make a trailer, they'll shoot for a trailer first, I imagine.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that happening. I'm hopeful that we will get another live action show announcement because after Andor, the only thing we have on the docket is Ahsoka. So leading in somewhere to the next show, wherever it may be in the galaxy timeline kind of thing. Those are kind of my simple live action stuff.
Yeah.
Adrian, what about you?
I'll Ahsoka season 2 or Acolyte season 2.
That would be the dream.
That's my dream. I don't want anything else. Anything else is just like you can announce like the best bounty hunter live action show, and it still wouldn't be as excited as Acolyte season 2.
You know how to break the internet and go viral in that moment. Acolyte.
I hope they're holding it. I really do hope they're holding it. I hope they're holding it close to their chest, and they do it.
Even like some sort of like finisher, like some sort of finisher.
Yeah, or you don't even have to call it Acolyte season 2. Like, call it The Stranger. What people have pitched. Have it be a spinoff. Don't call it the Acolyte. Focus on the Asian man. Still have it's not perfect. It's not. I'd much rather just have like a straight up Acolyte season 2. But that story, that Star Wars story, needs to continue.
Yeah. And that still gets you the continuation. They were so hyped on Manny. Manny was one of the first people
he's going to be there
for Celebration. He's going to be there.
I'm going to go meet him. I'm going to spend the $90. I'm going to go meet him.
Good for you.
That's amazing.
Tell him he's a badass.
I know. I'm going to. He's not sold out yet, and I was like, "How are you not sold out? How does everybody not want to meet you?"
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a favor of you, and this is going to sound weird, but I just want you to do it. I need you to just take a picture of your head next to his bicep just to see how monstrous that thing is.
Yeah.
It's probably not monstrous at this point.
I'm sorry.
Not that it couldn't be.
Well, I was gonna say, if I got that toned, I would hate to lose it. So I would just like keep going.
You know, I'm just thinking about he's also the I'll always think, well, I don't know, I guess after the hot tub scene, maybe not, but like I always think of A Good Place when I see him. So I'm gonna talk to him about the Jaguars and see what's up. So
I love that show, man. I
Yeah.
love that show.
Such a good show.
TV. I'll be completely honest with you. My first prediction when I was thinking about this, when we actually planned for it, when I actually remembered it, my first prediction, my first thoughts on the possibility of any TV announcements, it was really sad. I was like, Star Wars TV is dead. And it just breaks my heart to think that. Like, I don't want it to be. But like the idea and the only small glimmer of hope that I have is, like, of course we all hear Disney saying like, oh, we're gonna, step back, we're not gonna put as much content out, do blah 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 blah. And then you have Marvel Studios and Disney saying, hey, we're gonna hold back, we're not gonna put as much stuff out. Hey, by the way, you're getting 7 projects from the MCU next year. Okay, bye. Like, so I'm like, there's hope. There's hope. If that's what it means to step back, like, hey, Lucasfilm, let's step back and get like 4 projects out there, I'm cool with that. I will say, outside of course of Tales of the Underworld, because ever since I did read about the path.
Are we moving to animated? Is this your...
Well, that's what it sounds like.
No. I want live action the path. Ever since Obi-Wan saw the carvings, ever since Katie was like, you need to read this book. I read the book, and I want a live action path show. And it could be fun to make it like a episode by episode long story. But even if you were to do a live action anthology of the path to show through time between the moment of the rise of the Empire until the path was no longer needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that within itself would be really fun.
Dude, do it like a crime drama. Take it super freaking seriously. Take it super freaking seriously, like you're taking Andor seriously. So we think about the ramifications of Order 66.
Yeah,
and you do it super serious. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you look into like the danger and the fear and like, oh, am I gonna make it? Like, you get super intense with it, and I think it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of like the best games I played at GDC was a game called Take Us North, and it's basically about the guillas, the Mexican people typically who help with the immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like picture Death Stranding, where you're just doing a lot of walking, but you're doing a lot of walking based on like real immigrant stories, specifically from the Nogales, like Arizona area border.
This game looks gorgeous.
It's fantastic, man. I did an interview with the developer there. It's one of my favorite games ever that I played there. And I'm thinking about how that kind of stuff would hit for this. Like, we all think about like Order 66 and like how tragic I hate Order 66 scenes. I'm so tired of them. No more. I don't want to see no more kids dying. I'm done. It's not a detachment anymore, right? So show me the real stories, right? Show me like the real stories of someone like Cal Kestis,
the survivors.
The survivors who didn't have the benefit of the path, right? And how they didn't. Yeah, I'm with it, man. Yeah, you pitched a good one there. I want it.
Yeah,
do it super serious. Give me Narcos, crime drama, whatever genre you need to describe it. But I think that's when Star Wars works best, when you like take Star Wars, put it in a genre, and let it run.
Yep. All right, Katie, what's next on the docket?
Animated. So I think y'all are gonna see probably at least one episode of Visions, volume 3, because that's been like very traditional for Celebration to have. Like there was an episode in London and stuff. So I'm thinking that I think we will potentially we should get a Visions trailer. Because we've gotten a trailer for Visions. Not necessarily. Have we gotten the names of the shorts before? I don't remember.
They gave it to like after Celebration. They did, but I don't think that we have them now. Again, I haven't really looked.
We don't have them now.
Yeah. Okay. If we don't have them now, then we might get them then.
Yeah.
or people will know by like the animation style. They'll be able to peg the studio when they see them. So
yeah. So I would picture that plus getting a release date for Visions, because we don't have that currently. And then the other thing I'm hoping is that we get the next I'm gonna use adult in quotation marks, but adult animated show announcement. So whether that's the sequel to Bad Batch or something else, I'm hoping it's something else. Because I think we're all really tired of 19 BBY to 0 BBY. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking for animation. So
for me, the Tales of the Clones. I want a clone story thing.
Yeah.
I want justice for the clone commandos who are done dirty in the Bad Batch. It's like the only thing I don't like about Bad Batch is how they kind of just forget about the clone commandos and they're just bad, I guess, for some reason, but they're also controlled, but we don't care about them for some reason.
Yeah.
They played really good with it in season 2. And a little bit in was it season 2 or season 1 where
season 3 is when they kill Scorch.
Yeah,
that's right.
They just pop them. And for like we went from like no shooting clones to only shooting clone commandos for some reason. But my thing is that when we see the clones, even in the veteran clone that we see, like there's so many ways that we can go, and one of the big things for the Bad Batch was like the clone stuff going on with Senator Chuchi and like the political stuff going on there that's like never like really kind of shown. We're just kind of we just like assume that they lose out and then they're just screwed forever. So something about the clones in that anthology of maybe, because you can also just do it like on, we can get answers for so many different clones on where are they. That's what I want for animated.
I like it. I have been wanting this since the very first Visions season. We're in Japan. I think it's going to happen. I 100% think it's going to happen. I don't think this is just a prediction. I think I am sharing the future. Ninth Jedi full animated movie announcement. Why this one? No, Adrian, don't. What?
I don't know. They're just like that was just Star Wars, right? That was just like
it was, but like
I think it would take too like the world building there's too big. I think you would have. I would much rather a series, like a full
Ninth Jedi
series.
series.
Yeah, like where you build out this world of all of these different kinds of Jedi. I think like that would be it. But
I
mean,
think it could work. But like when
I thought you were going to see, I thought you were going to say the Ronin because specifically because they have the manga, they have the other thing. Like they're hard in on like the Ronin.
They really are. I would not be disappointed if they wanted to adapt that novel. Did you ever read that novel?
Yeah, I picked. Yeah, it's very good.
That was the most confusing, most beautiful adaptation of what the idea of Star Wars could be. Like, yeah, I loved that book.
That's where I'm like, I don't want a dual Ronin sequel because I love that novel so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think like just like that universe more than anything is what I thought. Yeah, like that style, like the very,
like the use of
the truest form, the truest inspirations done in that. So
yeah,
I would love that. I mean, honestly, any of them, if I'm being honest, I think most of them I'd probably be okay with. I think the Ninth Jedi is good. I like the Ninth Jedi. I don't know why I reacted like that, but I was just like, "Oh, that's just not what I thought." That's just not what I thought you were going to say.
One? I was like, my heart.
Because it's not the one. It's just not the one I thought. It's just not, maybe it's like everyone loves this one.
There's other ones that I like. Like when I think of Visions, of course I think of the Duel because that was like the biggest hype of like, hey, this is what this could end up being, right?
Yeah.
And then my second thought is always Ninth Jedi. My third and fourth thought. My third thought is the fact that we got somebody who wielded a lightsaber the size of a planet. Like that itself is super ridiculous, stupid, and amazingly awesome. So like I always think
it's like the lightsaber problem on a million to me.
Exactly
on the big screen.
And then
too scary.
And then the other one that I think of is, and I always intend on buying the little golden book of it, and I always forget to actually grab it. Is the astromech, the
Toby.
what's his Toby?
Toby's,
yeah. It's cute. Like it's Astro. It's the retelling of Astro Boy in a Star Wars setting. Like it's absolutely amazing. I love the story of Toby. So like I think of those four things when I think of Visions, and I could see all four of those having some sort of extended story.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like those aren't mine, man. I think of Lope and Ocho that universe was so cool.
Lope and Ocho is also so good, man.
So cool, man. And then even in like season 2, I think Screecher's Reach's premise is probably my favorite out of that whole thing. Dude, I want to know what happened to that little girl so bad.
Right?
Oh, I want to know what happened to her. I want to know everything about that. Just sounds so great. But again, that's why I'm so excited for volume 3, because we're going to get so many different things. And even if I just get comics of these things, I'd be happy, if I'm being honest. So if you're going to destroy Dark Disciple, at least give me some cool comics of some stuff that we're keeping around, at least, or something,
Yeah.
All right, Katie. I think this next one will be one of the last ones, correct?
Yes. So publishing. So we have a Random House Worlds panel, I think, like a Random House Worlds specific one, and then we have a manga specific panel.
Heck yeah.
And then
more Ronin, baby.
Yes, because we're getting
also like the Lost Stars is fantastic on the manga. I don't know if you guys have that one.
I need to get that one. Because I love that story. That story is so good. Okay, maybe the Random House Worlds so maybe there's only 2 panels, the manga one, and then we have like a general publishing one between Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, and Random House Worlds. So I'm hoping for an Adam Christopher novel, because Adam Christopher is going.
Fantastic.
And I loved Shadow of the Sith. I loved it with all my heart. So I'm really hoping he gets to make another novel. Let me see who else is going. I'm excited for the sequel trilogy manga that we're getting. The Found Lightsaber, I think is what it's called.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Ooh.
So with that one, with the manga panel, and I think Edge of Balance, while I haven't necessarily enjoyed the story there, I think a lot of people have, and it's been really successful. So I'm excited to see what continues to come out of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like what I want to announce on the manga panel. Literally everything. Every single Star Wars story, I would love it in a manga. All of it, dude. I would want all of it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I would really love, I haven't had the chance to actually look into it, but there has been some that I actually have read. So like, there's I think 3 DC mangas that are going out concurrently right now. There's one Superman one and 2 Batman related ones. One is a story about Joker accidentally turning Bruce or Batman into a baby, and he has to raise Batman to be Batman. What was that?
The Star Wars is a Batman Daima, like in Dragon Ball Daima?
Yeah, basically, like he changed him into a kid, and then he's like, oh, like I have no like worth in my living. I have to raise him to be the best Batman so we can fight again. It's a really silly book. Then there's one called Justice Buster, and it's a like just badass Batman book. But these are all created by actual Japanese mangakas taking an IP of American. So like what I would really love more than anything is to get some sort of Star Wars story and get actual Japanese mangakas to adapt those stories and or create their own stories in Star Wars, kind of like what we're getting in Visions, but in a manga format. I think that would be, yeah, I think that within itself would really get people who are interested in Star Wars, but are like, okay, I like Visions, but I do like manga, and I'm not really feeling the Edge of Balance story. Yeah. Because the one thing that bothers me about Edge of Balance is I was so confused. I was going on a manga kick when that first came out, and I grabbed it and I started to read it the way that you read regular manga, and it didn't make sense because they still made it in the form of how you read traditional comics. So it was like, oh, you're just giving it the kind of aesthetic, but not really telling it in the story of a regular manga, quote unquote, regular manga, which is where I would want Japan and Star Wars to take it, is like make a traditional manga book with it.
I would want to be traditional, but you also just have, I got point back to the fan base. These dudes can't even use chopsticks, bro. You think they're going to learn how to read manga correctly if you're not like a hardcore manga person already?
I mean, I guess that's true.
It's tough. Yeah. I think that, but I think I like the idea though. Having completely different stories that you can only get if you buy a manga is dope. I like that.
Yeah, because that's one of my, and it's not necessarily like a bad thing, but that's one of my critiques with Haunted Starlight is like, we need to kind of stick in the realm of, okay, these stories in these different formats are like connected as one. So I don't have to go buy an Audible original.
Unless you just do it like Visions, where it's just stories, right? And then you don't have to. And then I think that eliminates what you mentioned at the beginning, Clay, about like that takes care of your lightsaber issue, that takes care of your Skywalker issue, because none of it matters. None of it's canon. There's no Kiadi Mundi BS.
And I would be fine with that. Yeah. Like, but I think that's part of my issue with Edge of Balance is it doesn't feel as connected, but it still feels like it has to be connected. Like, this isn't like a huge spoiler, but Edge of Balance Volume 3 is brought up in Into the Light for what happens because Wreath and Aslan are in there. So it's like brought up as a connection, and it's just like
Well, you should have known. You should have known, Katie.
I
Should have
know,
known,
and I
okay?
read everything. I read everything, but it's like, okay, but how do I remember all this stuff? So,
You
um,
talk to your phone like I do. I'm just like, take a voice note.
I read
Remember.
the first 12 chapters of Into the Light last night, and I had to Google so many people on Wikipedia. Anyways, okay, so the book publishing panel, so the non-manga one, has Adam Christopher, Tessa Gratton, who is probably talking about Acolyte Crystal Crown, Mark Guggenheim, probably talking about his Jedi Knight comic run, Lydia Kang, unknown what she's currently doing.
Okay. I like Lydia.
Adam Christopher as well, unknown what he's currently doing. Ethan Sachs, probably talking about his comic with Poe Dameron. Phil Zozak, comics. Alyssa Wong, unknown what they are currently doing. And then Marvel's C.B. Cebulski, the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, will also be present. So it's kind of a wide range of what could happen. There's definitely Disney here, but there's also Random House, but there's also Marvel and Dark Horse. So I'm hopeful for an Adam Christopher novel. Like, that's the dream right there out of that panel. If that happens, I'm going to be super happy. Lydia Kang, I also really enjoyed her High Republic novel. So I would be down for her to have another novel. And I love what Alyssa Wong has written. So I would love for them to get a novel or another comic. So,
yeah. Adrian, what about you? What do you think as far as publication?
I think for publication, and I think publication has to be very specific for me to go do it, because it feels like I'm like grabbing a book from a shelf, right? And if I'm in a library, sometimes I want to like pick up and read, but I like listening more than I like reading these days. So what do I want to listen to the most? For me, I think would be because comics and stuff are always going to be there. I'm gonna go with Clay and take your Dream for the Impossible, but I want Finn book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this says the latest publishing news from the prequel trilogy to the sequel trilogy and beyond, including news on the grand finale of the High Republic.
Everyone else has gotten a comic. Well, like everyone else from like the main cast has gotten a comic, right?
Yeah.
Finn really hasn't gotten nearly as much, and especially after his comments recently, if you know, give it to us, man. We want it. We want it.
Yeah. I like that. I dig that a lot. As far as publishing, I mean, Katie, we said as soon as we got finished with Lydia Kang's book, like, she needs to do more Star Wars. I need to go searching for the stuff that she has done outside of Star Wars, since I've been on such a big book kick recently. I want to see what else is in her repertoire. But I would really love to see her do more. I think for the fact that Cebulski is there, I just recently pre-ordered issue 1 of their renumbering of Star Wars. So if I would have to take a guess, the very first like major event of that run is going to be announced from Cebulski and whoever's going to be writing it. I also agree with the idea of Adam Christopher writing another novel, because his was absolutely amazing. Taking the story of Luke Skywalker in a time where people were screaming at the top of their lungs, we need Luke between this time, and we need to know what he was doing. It really did, like, they were like, fine, here it is, and this is amazing. I need, like a man needs water to live, I need the same way that back in the olden days, where Star Wars novels were just being pumped in left and right for what is now Legends. I need that exact same thing to happen with High Republic. I need there to be novels being pushed left and right of random stories of my favorite time in Star Wars.
I don't think that's going to happen for a couple of years. They're going to give it time to marinate, and then other
Don't
authors
ruin
will
my
start
dreams, Katie.
He's
I
dreaming
mean,
big.
this is a conversation. No, so I Googled Lydia Kang because I couldn't remember what she's a doctor of. She's an internal medicine professor and a practicing doctor, along with writing all the stuff that she does. And on her homepage of her website, she has exciting book news coming soon. So,
Love it. Love it.
Very exciting. All right. So, shall we? Is that everything? Anything else that we want to talk about with Star Wars Celebration?
I don't think so, but I haven't listened to the book yet, so I think this might be where I step out. I also need to run to CVS before they close to get my meds that I'm going to need for Japan.
All right.
But yeah, sorry, we kind of just like yapped for like a lot longer than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
But
well, before
it's
you
probably a lot
jump
of my
off,
fault. Apologies.
Before you jump off,
Always fun.
Let people know where they can find you. Have you written anything recently?
Oh man, I've written a bunch of stuff over at butwhythough.net for GDC. Lots of really great reviews on some of our favorite games that are going to be coming out here pretty soon. Just to name a couple: Sunderfolk, Winterboro, Hella, Steel Hunters. So many great games coming out. Take Us North. So many great games coming out that I'm writing over there, and then just expect some thoughts for Star Wars Celebration once they announce stuff. I'm gonna be talking about it. I'm gonna be thinking about you guys.
Exciting.
Awesome.
I can't wait to read.
Yeah,
and get
Super Reese 93 on everything. That's where you can find me.
Yes,
all right.
Clay will have the
much,
link
Adrian.
in the description box below.
Always
yes,
does.
of course. Always.
All right, guys. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Peace out.
All right. So, Haunted Starlight, the Audible original sequel to Seeds of Starlight, I think is what it was.
Yep.
We need to go ahead and get this part. Actually, I need to go to the bathroom before we jump into this. I'm sorry. I've been drinking a lot of water trying to get rid of this cough. Okay, I'll be right back.
All good. All good. Now I'm just going to write down this time because I am for sure not going to sit here and say, hey, I'm going to talk for this entire time just so that way. Let's see here. Where are you at? Star Wars Alliance. Okay. 112.
Sorry, guys. I just really had to go. So, okay, we got to get this out of the way. Because this is not a George Mann problem or a production problem with Audible. This is a story group publication problem. there have been too many things to follow for the High Republic to get the overall story.
Yes and no. Specifically for this, and it kind of annoyed me. This I was gonna say book. This audio, this Audible original. Yeah, this Audible original. In like one chapter after the other. One was in the part where I forgot his name already. The dude
Cam.
No, not Cam.
Kildo?
The dude who gets all freaking where's
dude, I know who you're talking. It's the Nihil guy.
Yes.
Who's like the villain of this one?
Is it Zaxel?
Maybe that sounds familiar.
I think it is Zaxel. All right, Zaxel. He gets all Drin geared, right?
Yep.
Before he gets Drin geared, there is like a good 2 minutes of like, hey, if you didn't read Seeds of Starlight, here's the backstory. And then the very next chapter, it's in the perspective of, or at least it's on the side of our Jedi children, right?
Yes.
It's freaking
Cam,
Kildo.
Kildo.
Yeah, it's Kildo and Tep, and they're like messing around doing stuff. And then there's a good 2 minutes that's like, hey, if you didn't read or listen to Seeds of Starlight, this is what happens. And it's immediately like one after the other. And I'm like, guys, you just did this.
Yeah, like this whole thing is 4.5 hours in total length, basically. Mm-hmm. And like there's too much time spent on, hey, let's tell the story over. Because the one thing that you should not have to tell over is the prequel to the story you're telling.
Yeah.
Like, you should not have to tell that story. That's the one thing that I can at least appreciate with the other ones. Like, Temptation of the Force did not dive into Eye of the Storm stuff. They dove into other stories, like Defy the Storm and all this other stuff. Like, but it did not have to dive into the prequel because of that publication. Because the expectation is if you are reading book 2 in a series, you've read book 1.
100%.
But so that's definitely an issue here. And maybe that was a thing from Audible where Audible was like, yeah, we need you to include like what happened in the first one. I don't know why Audible would do that, because you think Audible is like decently smart, but it could have been an Audible thing. Because I feel like George Mann is also smarter than that.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. But again, so like I talked about this a little bit, but like the stuff for this feels really important for what's in Into the Light. And that's all I'm going to say there. But this is like, I was really confused last night because I totally forgot about this until I texted Clay and was like, hey, don't forget about this. And then I didn't get a chance to listen to it yesterday. So I read the first 12 chapters of Into the Light and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I'm listening to this. I listened to it twice during work today. And I'm like, oh, this chapter Into the Light makes a lot more sense now. Like, that should not be a thing. And that's been a critique that we've had the entirety of High Republic, basically. But I feel like it's especially relevant as we get into the finale books.
I wonder if it would be better. Now, I know that like if you open up any of the High Republic books, there is a timeline. But there's a timeline for the broader Star Wars. It's the High Republic, then it's the prequel series. Like, they don't map out all the books, right? I wonder if it would hurt the publications at all if, like, prior to, like, the dedication page, they had, like,
an individual timeline for the era they're in,
or like, yeah, like, so it would be like, this is phase 3 of the High Republic. These are all the projects that come before this book that you are reading right now.
That would be helpful. Like, no, because that's End of the Light. I can't talk about that because we're not there yet. We will be there Sunday. We're talking about that book on Sunday.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like the next book that we're going to be talking about after Haunted Starlight is Into the Light, right? So imagine you open Into the Light before you even start reading the prologue or chapter 1 or whatever is there. You see the High Republic emblem, and almost like the Legends books, how they have the timeline there, just scrolling down. You see phase 3, and it starts with Eye of Darkness, and it goes through, but they would need to also include the little asterisks, Audible Original, Haunted Starlight.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Is I don't picture, because there's a reason that Random House Worlds and Disney don't showcase the books across each other. Like, the only thing they share is the licensing stuff from Star Wars. So we get the movies, we get the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that crosses over those timelines. And because Disney doesn't even put a timeline in their book for, like, where the book takes place.
Yeah.
It just says, here's your timeline. Like, so I wish that they could correlate that. And I do think having a unique timeline for the book that you're in, so like the High Republic, like showcasing, hey, here's the timeline for the High Republic, I think that would be really useful. But I also just think phase 1 did the, hey, each publication, so the adult books is one story, the young adult books is one story. Like, phase 1 and even phase 2 really did that a lot better than phase 3 has done.
And I think more so it's because it's like, this is the pinnacle. Like, this is the end of the culmination of all those stories. And I think that's why it feels like that. And a part of me, like, I can't even say like, oh, it's because they rushed it, because there was a time when we saw the Celebration timeline for when these books were coming out. We were like, yeah, it's so far away, guys. It's literally 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Like, it's like the end is nigh, guys. It is absolutely insane that the time has flown by.
You want to know where the last thing for the High Republic comes out? The last thing that comes out is the High Republic Adventures Volume 5 trade, October 28th of this year. Yeah. Like, it's like, so it's extending. And yes, these comics have already come out. But y'all, some people like me don't keep up with them because it's too expensive. So the trade is what I get. And it's like, so yes, I'm not up to date on the comics, but I'm literally up to date on everything else.
Yeah.
And I still feel out of the loop.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so with that out of the way, and we will probably have again on Sunday when we review Into the Light, because I think Clay will understand more of what I'm talking about because he hasn't read anything yet.
I'm getting through. I'm telling myself minimum 8 chapters tonight.
You can do it. I think with you having read this, with you having already listened to Haunted Starlight, I think you will have an easier time.
Yeah.
At the very least. So I don't want to say more than that. But okay, so Haunted Starlight. I actually like this one, I think, better than Seeds of Starlight. I think it's because I'm more used to the format.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was able to understand the voices a little bit better. I still think this would have been better served in like a comic format. I get wanting to adapt Cam because he has the robotic vocoder
Mm-hmm.
into an audio format. I get that that's special. I just think this format doesn't entirely do it justice. I think George Mann writes a really good story, and he's written really good audio dramas because the Battle of Jeddah is a very good audio drama.
Yes, it
But
is.
in this short of story, because 4.5 hours is a little ridiculous. It just
How long was the last one?
I'm pretty sure it's the same length.
I'm gonna double check.
I'm pulling it up now. That is not what I clicked. Excuse me. Okay, so Haunted Starlight.
Seeds of Starlight is 4 hours and 29 minutes.
Okay, so Haunted Starlight is 4 hours and 20 minutes.
So it's just a smidge shorter.
Right. But imagine if you, and I get Audible was probably like, hey, give me something. Like I want an original from Star Wars. And so this had to come out of that. But imagine if this would have been 9 hours. Like,
and see, that's where I'm like, yes. Like because there's moments here, right? That I'm like, I want more of this and less of this. So like we mentioned, Zaxel, his character, he gets overtaken by the Drengir, and he goes through this like metamorphosis and goes through all these mood swings, and then he's like, I'm gonna have my own storm within the Nihil, blah 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 blah. Like I didn't need all of that, but like more of the stuff with like, because I think, and Katie, don't react to this. I think,
all right, right?
and it's more so a prediction for Trials. I will say this: it's more of a prediction for Trials, so you can't really react to it because we haven't read Trials. But
Correct.
just in case, I think we are going to get a Portals and a in-game Portals moment with the Drengir in Trials of the Jedi because of what happens in Haunted Starlight. Again, don't react because I don't know what's going on into the light. But like,
so I will say this because this isn't a spoiler for what's in the book because it's in the description. So the Drengir are into the light. And
clearly,
I feel like, because I haven't read this far yet, I feel like the Drengir story is going to wrap up in Into the Light because the Drengir story got started in Into the Dark.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. It's a nice little bow. I get that.
It's supposed to be, again, they're still trying to give you the assumption of, okay, everything's going to wrap up for a publication in the publications area.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I feel like the Drengir story is going to end here. If we get Drengir in Trials of the Jedi, I feel like it may be like 1 or 2, and we see something very similar to like Temptation of the Force, where they're running away from something. So
yeah, well, like, because like the really interesting thing about Haunted Starlight, which I wanted a little bit more of, especially with Tep Tep, and they kind of took that away from me, and I really hated that they didn't allow that to happen. is the fact that like Tep Tep was like, hey, I'm gonna be brave, I'm gonna be strong, I'm gonna, talk to these Dringir and basically compromise with them, and I'm gonna make a deal with them and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Master Buyer, and she was like, no, I'm gonna be the conduit. Take me instead. I'm just like, God damn it, what? Like, she, like, Tep Tep has been, like, the animal handler this entire phase. And I want more of that. Like, because we got this moment in, correct me, Fear the Nameless? Is it Fear the Nameless? Of when Tep Tep basically goes head on with the Nameless, and
Beware
like
the Nameless.
Beware the Nameless. Sorry, yeah, she goes head to head with the Nameless, and then like the book freaking ends, and like we get nothing from it. They tease like they tease something happening to Tep Tep, but then nothing happens from that.
And this is the problem too, is like you set up Tep Tep and Kildo in the middle grade novels, and Tep Tep is in a Valiant Vow, which comes out on May 6th.
Yes.
So theoretically her story is going to end there, but it's also like, okay, well, you put them here, and now you're going to have to connect those dots. You're going to have to retell what just happened in this audio drama to articulate how Tep Tep has grown as a character, because Imri's also coming back. And
yeah,
so now you've got like this mishmash of what's happening, and it's just a little frustrating. It's absolutely not at all the author's fault. It is 100% leadership for publication and going, yeah, we can reuse these characters here. Like,
yeah,
no problem.
and the editing process of how all that works out, I'm sure, is also how we ended up with what we have. But that being said, I think we have seen these characters grow. I liked the little little cherry on top, the little smidge of like the fear that Master Buyer is feeling from Seeds of Starlight. Like she's reacting how a master should react, but at the same time, even Tep Tep is like, I wonder if she's making these choices because it's the right thing to do, or is it because she's afraid and she's not wanting to be taken over again? And even Tep Tep's like, that's a valid thought, like, hey, if I was taken over, I wouldn't want to have to be taken over again, so I would do everything I can to stop that. So I like that growth. Question. There is a gentleman that helps these Jedi characters, our band of characters, Fido Blick. He comes out of this. Well, he at one point he presents a lightsaber. They do not describe the lightsaber, but Cam says something at the very end when Blick is about to hand it over. He's like, hey, your master's going to be asking for this. Here you go. But it's damaged. And Cam says, hey, you know what? It's already damaged. There's nothing else you can do with it. He takes out the kyber crystal and gives the lightsaber back to him. He's like, he says, a Jedi died on Starlight protecting what they could. Use that memory to make better choices in the future if you're going to hold on to this. Whose lightsaber do you think that is?
I'm sorry. I'm on Wikipedia, and now I've just gotten the spam notification. Okay, repeat the question. Blake had a lightsaber at the end and said a Jedi died.
Well, Cam tells him, "Hey, a Jedi, this was at one point a Jedi's lightsaber, and you found it. We both know that this lightsaber was used to protect others. Keep that in mind in the future for any and all, to basically better your life. Think of the person who used this lightsaber at one point." And it got me thinking, whose lightsaber is that? They don't specifically say. They don't even describe it, which also kind of irritates me.
We know it's not Stellan's because Elzar Mann has Stellan's, and I think now Vernestra has Stellan's because he passed it on. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Well, you do have oh gosh, what's his name? The red guy who was like Avar Chris's secretary, basically.
Oh shoot.
Because he dies on Starlight because he is like trying to hold Starlight together. Yep. Sorry. I'm nervous to go back to Wikipedia, but here we go.
But also, no, I think they would have described it differently. I was going to say, do you think it's Orla's?
I would have thought that they would describe it differently because Orla's flipped and was like dual bladed, but also could be together. So I don't think it was Orla's because you're right. Orla did die there. You also had
Orla was mentioned a couple times here, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it is Orla's. Nib was. Oh, that's right. Nib was on Starlight.
Estella Maru. That's who I was thinking of, by the way.
Who?
Estella Maru.
Estella Maru. I totally spelled that wrong. Oh,
Espala.
See, I put two L's.
Yeah.
And then I put Maroo because I was like, what looks more Star Wars like? I was like, two O's. Totally. But yeah, I forgot about this character also.
Okay, so yeah. So the Wikipedia article for Destruction of Starlight has Estella Maru, Orbelin, which we know he survived, Skier, who we know survived, Neuron Bakarana Kana. I have no idea who that is. Monshi, Stellangios, Orla Drenny, Nib Asik, Reginald Cole, also. Yeah. Buryaga, we know he survived. Torba Buck, we know he survived. Farzala and Lula both survived. So really your only ones in there is the long name, which I'm assuming is probably another Wookiee. Reginald Cole, we know, died. Nib Asik, Orla Drenny, and Stellan. Who's Monshi? Tell me who this is. Was a Frosian Jedi Knight. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't recognize that name.
Seeing the picture. So this is Neuron. She was in a comic. Let's see. It looks like mostly. Okay, so
Oh, I
Tempest
remember
Runner.
that panel.
Yep.
I recognize that panel.
Temptation the Force mentioned, and then comic, and Rising Storm. So yeah, she's a Calvin Scott character. All right. So she died. Is it? Yes. Okay. Latero Jedi Knight. Oh yes, he was in the High Republic. Yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like he died. And High
Mhm.
Republic 2023-7 appears as corpse.
Oh, he died.
So maybe he survived, because I think maybe he died with like Orbal, like on the planet with Orbalin when they're like being hunted and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
Stellan, Reginald, Nib, Orla,
yeah.
and Neuron. So
I mean, overall, other than the weird pacing and the repetitive retelling of prior events, I think this was a good enough story.
yep.
I think that if the High Republic budget could have afforded it, I think it would have been a lot better as an actual audio drama, like
Yep.
you were saying. Because
Not that I have any problem with Todd Haberkorn, who's the narrator for this.
Mhm.
He does a lot of the middle grade books, and this is what this audio drama was targeted to, was like a middle grade audience. I just think this one, because you have so many options
Yeah.
of characters, he just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. Man, I can't even see. I need to just get started. Into the Light needs to be released already, and our thoughts need to already be out, because then I'm already like wanting to ask you. I'm like, oh, so what do you think this ending of the book really thinks? You can't answer that question.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and just let it be known. At the very end of this book, there's a confrontation between the Dringir and then Zazel, who is taken over by another Dringir. In the hive mind, he, like I said, he envelops his own little like tendrils and stuff, and he becomes a monster basically. They fight. Like, the Jedi are on the side of the Dringir. Zazel or Zaz, or however you want to pronounce his name, has his own little mafia of Dringir. They fight as well against the Jedi and the Dringir. And Cam basically is like, hey, like, you're done, you're defeated, I'm not going to kill you, and I'm going to make sure that the Dringir don't kill you. And he has this really, really cool line, one that I actually appreciate. Zazel's like, why would you do this? He's like, because the Jedi are, this is what the Jedi do. We're always meant to, meet violence with kindness. And then he adds, and maybe because we just haven't learned better. We haven't learned better.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Cam knows the flaws of the Jedi.
Such a good line.
And it's just this small little thing, but I actually really dug that. I'm like, that's clever. I love this. And again, it's not coming from this old wise Jedi. It's coming from this kid. This kid that has had a lot of shit happen to him, losing his voice, all of this other stuff, right? Almost losing his master, almost having his master kill him at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So like, all this stuff has happened. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do this because this is what Jedi do. But also, maybe we don't know any better. And it kind of it's kind of scary, especially for a book that's called Haunted Starlight, for the fact that, like, hey, Cam, are you telling on, like, what the future of this publication has for the High Republic? Like, are we not going to learn our lesson? I mean, granted, we know how much of an asshole Yoda is for the rest of time. So, I also really love the fact that Adrian called that out also in the prior of this conversation. But after all that, they're like, hey, we're going to put the Drengir on our ship. They're going to fly away, and they're going to be safe from the Blight. They're going to be safe from the Nihil, and everything's going to go good. Don't react, Katie. There's a moment at the very end. It's the epilogue. And you had several characters already react to them leaving, right? And then there's an epilogue. There's an epilogue, and it's in the POV of, like, the head of the Drengir, which their name is the
Great Progenitor.
Yes. And she is like, oh, this one human being, set the navicomputer and set our course for da-da-da-da. But there's always one planet that I've always wanted to go to that always piqued my interest. The home of the Wookiees, Kashyyyk. And, like, they, like, burrow this small little insignificant, like, vine into the neck of this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this you can actually react to now that I'm this next statement. We didn't know how much Star Wars publications were really planning on anything, and something that we had entirely missed in our read of the Aftermath series is that there's a moment where we actually, like, is it the first Aftermath or Life Debt, or I can't remember which one it's actually in.
I think it's Life Debt.
Yeah, that does make sense. In Aftermath Life Debt, there's a small moment where they mention, like, basically that part of the planet just looks like death. And we're like, holy shit, it's the Blight. And it's very telling because, like, there ain't no Drengir in the original trilogy or in the sequel trilogy. And I've been to Kashyyyk on several video games. There ain't no Drengir. So, like, so I know how that story's gonna end. But of course, this is how, this book ends. I'm gonna be reading Into the Light almost as soon as we get off here. I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then I'm gonna start reading. And then I'm going to text Katie the moment it happens. I'm like, oh, this is what you were talking about. Cool. So it was a good story. Katie's about to die. I think that we need to wrap this up as quickly as possible. I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to go ahead and call my stuff out. Of course, you can always find me at FanboyClay on Twitter. Well, not Twitter anymore, actually. I'm not really posting there. Follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Follow me on Blue Sky for my work journey. Instagram for my book journey. And I just need to post more on Threads. But also, I want everybody, please go check out Ranger Alliance next week. Next week, Ranger Alliance hits its 100th episode. It's taken us 4 years. We started this journey in 2021, and it has taken us this long. we have now reached the 100th club with everybody else on the GUA. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Me, Joe, and Jake are all going to be on that episode. We're going to have a lot of fun. So go check us out. We are reviewing the Super Sentai called Gozyuga #1. So if you're able to find those episodes, go watch them. There's only 6 so far. We're going to be reviewing episode 7 on Sunday. Go check it out and then listen to our review on Monday. Katie.
Besides Katie, most social media platforms. Next week, I originally had us talking about Edge of Balance Premonition. We're actually going to switch it up and talk Andor Season 1 because Clay was out for half of Andor Season 1. So it'll be a good chance for us to return to the show. Clay gets to give it a look, and we will also be dropping our Into the Light review as a separate episode. I'm about to cough again, so have a good day or night, whatever time of day you're listening or watching, and we will see y'all next time. May the Force be with you.